Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. I just touched your knee. I'm so sorry. Of Team Sleep Repeat. My name is Dylan.
My name is Do That Again. Dylan hates touch, just to make it clear. Anyone else wouldn't even think about this,
That
but
really
he hates it.
threw me off on the presenters. I don't want to touch
I remember a
your
time
knee.
in the podcast that ages ago, I accidentally touched your foot with my foot, and we genuinely had to stop. It threw him off so much we had to stop.
I don't like it whatsoever.
You hate it, didn't you?
That made me feel really weird.
Oh.
Anyway, welcome back to another episode. My name is Dylan. I think I've done that.
My name is Hayden.
I'm really thrown off now.
Yeah.
Hello, you've clicked on this. Hello, I've really been put off now. You know what's going to happen. We're talking about our favourite things this week. But we're going to do our quick catch up as always. Hope you guys are well. Hayden, how are you?
Well, I'm good. We've had a mad week. We've had a mad, and I'm excited to tell you guys about
You're going to have to top me touching your knee. Whoa.
It doesn't get madder than that.
That's mad.
But it's close. So just quick story. I was sat here yesterday in this office, just doing some work about midday, and all I heard outside was this massive crash, but it sounded like someone had dropped like loads of glass.
Sure.
It just sounded like loads of glass smashing. I was expecting to look out there, and for some reason, someone's got a massive crate of glass and they've just dropped it.
And there's a whole pub of people going, "Whee!" Smashing glass,
standing around. Oh dear. And I didn't. I looked out, and a red van had just ploughed into
unbelievable
parked cars outside my house.
But that's just mad because I've seen it because you've got footage.
Yeah, I've got a camera outside the house. Obviously, I looked at it. I ran out first, to be fair, to go and see if this guy did.
I think I'll just check what's on the old camera.
I wonder what happened here. Looking at the footage to see the van crashing into the car.
Looking at the footage in the background, out of focus is just the wreckage and the bloke.
Yeah. But the guy was. I'll start with this. The guy was absolutely fine, completely fine. Airbags saved his life. Best advert for airbags I've ever seen.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I don't know what happened. He doesn't really know what happened. I think maybe he blacked out.
Yeah.
Because when we're looking at the footage, he is driving at 30 miles per hour.
It's like he doesn't think the cars are there.
He just and he just veers like head on. It's not like he just clips them. It's not, when you hit, I hit a wing mirror before where I've misjudged a space. He is like full on head on, headlights to headlights, just 30 miles an hour plows into the parked cars outside my house.
And you can't park there, sir.
You cannot park. That's the first. All I said to him was that. I went out there and said, "Sorry, sir, can't park there." No, I went out and obviously thinking, "Oh God, I don't know what state this guy's going to be."
There's a picture of you marching out like you mean business.
Yes,
I love it. It's really good. It's like, I will help. I'm the hero the city needs.
Yeah. But even when I was walking towards the car, I could see through the back window that he was moving around. So I was like, straight away, I was like, okay, right, he's okay.
That's all you really care about.
Went to the passenger window. I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was just like, "Are you okay?" It was my first thing. I was like, "Should we get you out?
Do I look okay?"
I had to look at my van. And sat him outside on the wall and, checked him over.
Your teacher instincts came in. Did you get a blue paper towel for the van?
I did get a wet paper towel. Yeah. Luckily, it helped.
It did.
But
it helped everything.
I was surprised how unhurt he was, considering he just went 30 miles an hour into a parked object.
It just goes how like the safety features and stuff, like the crumple zones.
The crumple zones. I mean, I've got a picture of the car that he went into.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll share that, because just so you can see how the crumple zones just completely absorb the impact. But just to stop it off, last bit of this story, how livid would you be? He obviously rammed into one car, which then shunted into the car behind it. There were just two cars parked. Both of the cars belonged to my neighbour from across the road.
So
both
annoying.
Cars were theirs.
So annoying. It is their like 6th and 7th car though on the road. Oh no, the car I never drive and just park there constantly. Oh.
Dylan has a vendetta against my neighbours because they park.
It's always there, and I want to park, and I have to park over your drive, and it's always there.
It is kind of weird. What do you guys think about this? Because I just want to put this situation out here. Neighbours across the road, they have a driveway, but they have their car on the driveway. They have two cars on the driveway, but they have 5 other cars that they park on the road as well, like taking up basically everybody
all of the free spaces,
everybody else's spaces.
Yeah.
And not everyone has a driveway on our road. When we moved in, we only had a driveway enough for one car, and we extended it so we could get both our cars.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that space didn't exist.
I know it's like, well, it's all taxed and no one owns the road. I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, obviously what they're doing is not illegal.
No.
But like, come on.
Harsh,
do you need 7 cars?
Yeah,
like,
it is a bit odd. I do find it a bit odd. It does just constantly take up everyone else's space. But
because I lived on a terraced road beforehand where you basically there was no parking for anyone. It was just first come, first served. And outside of our house was constantly this big Volkswagen, what's it called? Like the people carrier version.
Yeah.
And a Volkswagen Beetle in front of it, owned by the same person who literally just liked having them. They never went anywhere.
Yeah, I never saw them move ever.
They had a new version of a Volkswagen big van as well.
That they actually used.
And it was just like this old thing. And I was like, oh, okay. I get you're not doing anything wrong technically. But for 5 years, that was just outside the house.
Yeah, that is not the kind of road and house to live on when you're going to have 3 or 4 cars.
Yeah,
because you are just because realistically, what is there? If you think about the terrace houses, there's like one space outside each house. Space,
and we had 2 cars, and a lot of people have 2 cars these days, and that's fine. I never begrudged it, and I don't ever expect to park in front of my own house. That's not what people did. But like when 3 spaces are constantly taken up,
and they're not even using them.
That's what I mean. They're just
storing vehicles.
It might as well be a statue they built on the road.
Yeah,
there's no feature in the road. Like, no, it's really annoying.
I just think it's rude.
Yeah,
basically that's it. I don't. There's nothing illegal about it.
No. Same thing outside my house with like there's these he must be like 18, 19, just learning to drive, constantly coming home at like 10:30, 11, or leaving at like 5 in the morning, must be for work, blasting his music. Like the bass reverberates through the street. Yeah. And it's like, that's just rude.
I think we should stop. I've realised how old we are. We sound so old. Yeah,
I know. And again, I did the same thing. So I'm not actually annoyed at the person whatsoever, but I'm just like, I think it would have crossed my mind if it was 11:30.
Yeah,
I think I would just turn it down a bit. You know,
you're super conscious of that sort of stuff, though. I've been in house before, and I've put something on that I think is completely suitable. Like, turn it down.
Yeah, because I hate the idea of being a hypocrite. Because if someone else did it, I'm like, oh my god, it's so annoying. Then I'm there going boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, I grew up with 3 younger sisters. Constant. High School Musical. Oh, give it. Just sit. Can we be quiet for a minute? Let me play Call of Duty, please.
They listen to this podcast.
Yeah, they do.
And tell us what you think.
They probably paused it to put on the High School Musical soundtrack and have a little sing song.
Yeah, still love it. Anyway, that's one thing about my week.
I need to tell about my week, and you know about this as well, and I've got to tell the people at home. It's an ongoing story, and this is the one time when my trolling of Hayden absolutely 100% paid off.
And it did.
Better than ever before. So here's the story. We're doing maths, and as you know, a big part of my practice and Hayden's practice is quite simply just, we know we can teach well. I love the idea of just making sure the children have fun at all times. And let's be real for a second. Maths can be quite dry sometimes. You're doing a small step with a group of children who don't quite get it all the time. They need a lot of support. They've got to do a lot of practice of the same thing. So I'm looking for anything to hook onto in a lesson, just to engage them and make them laugh a little bit.
I've done the bookmarks. I've put them on the board already under the sad face.
There's loads of stuff that we've done throughout. So this time, what happened is I've merged into what you do basically, and any kind of character or monster or thing or whatever it is on this board is now Mr. Stevens, especially if they come across as bald. So we're doing White Rose Maths, and anyone who else does White Rose Maths knows there's a mascot, Tiny the tortoise or turtle, I don't know what he is. Tortoise, okay, who always gets things wrong. That's the joke. Fantastic, because he looks like a little bald green alien, right? So he pops up and says something completely nonsense about what we've just been looking at, and they need to reason as to why it's wrong. So it comes up, and I go, oh, here he is again, Mr. Stevens, like that. And they're like, oh!
I'm sure they love that.
Because Mr. Stevens always gets it wrong, and it's really funny. And I said to him, yeah, guys, listen, just calm down for a minute, because I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone. And this is top secret, and I need you to do a mission for me afterwards. So I need you to know that that is actually Mr. Stevens. And that's him when he was younger. He's obviously grown up now, but he does actually have green skin, like genuinely. And they're like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, no, I'm going to serious. No. Listen, and you can't go around telling everyone, because he really tries to cover it up. What you need to do, guys, and that, whilst I'm saying this, someone shouts out, like Shrek. And I was like, yeah, exactly.
Just like Shrek.
Just like
similar.
Shrek. Exactly right. Yeah, it's exactly the same. I said, next time you see him, listen, don't give it away. You need to be really secretive. But just look at the back of his neck, because what he does, he puts makeup on to cover his green. But I've seen it before. He just forgets the back of his neck. So if you really carefully, next time you see him, just take a little sneak peek. Don't tell him you're doing it, but just look at the back of his neck. Yeah. You might see a line of green. I did all of this. Almost forgot about it. Hayden and I had dinner the other night. And I brought it up. And Hayden, you went... What?
Well, I'll tell my side of the story now. I was like, no, this makes so much sense, because it's the first time I can honestly say I got. I always know when the kids are getting me, and I just play along with it. This time they completely got me. I didn't even suspect anything.
To the point where you went to check, didn't you?
Yeah, so these kids, I was walking back. I just had my lunch, right? So it's in the lunch hour. I'd eaten my lunch in the staff room. I was walking back towards my classroom.
Which is as far away from the
as far away as possible. And you have to walk a little bit outside to get there as well. So the kids are all outside playing. And there was a few girls, I can't remember now, I guess from your class.
You didn't recognise them?
I didn't recognise them really, but they were obviously year fours. And they sort of giggled at me, and I was like, "You all right, girls?" I was like, "Yeah." I was thinking, "Oh, whatever." And then as I carried on walking, it was such good acting from them. One of them, without making it really obvious, just went, "Oh yeah," to her friend. She went, "Oh yeah, he does have a bit of green on his neck." But I hadn't, I'd already, it was good timing because I wasn't still engaging with them. If they did that, I probably would have thought that's a bit more obvious now. They're clearly trying to troll me. But they said it when I was walking away, and I didn't even look back. I just heard it and thought, what?
And you don't
and then I thought,
green.
when I did walk through the dinner hall, I did see a couple of kids sort of snigger at me, and they were looking at me, looking around my head area.
I am an ogre.
So I went and checked my neck, and I was trying to rub off some green. I was thinking, have I got my highlighter on there or something? I got green paint on my neck, and I'm rubbing my neck trying to find all this green. And I was thinking, there's nothing there. Stupid kids. Honestly, making up this rubbish. What are they talking about?
Best thing I've ever done. That's the number one thing ever. And I think it was your Lauren said, you should on Monday put a bit of green highlighter on your neck.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'll update you guys next week.
Oh, that works so well. Just again, I love the off the cuff thing. Really funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's crack on, Hayden. You wanted to talk about PE.
Yeah, just a really quick one. It's just about my week. I just wanted to say, because we've discussed this in the past, this week for the first time in honestly years, I did PE, a joint with another teacher, and this guy is a sports coach, and so professional, highly trained professional PE teacher, and I did PE with him because it was raining outside.
Listens to the podcast sometimes.
Yeah, Scott, he listens to the podcast, and we did PE together, and I was just watching him setting up these activities and just teaching his PE lesson, thinking, oh my god, it does pay off when you have a professional. Yeah, because we've talked about it, haven't we? About we aren't actually just professionals in every single subject, though. It does kind of work to have a specialist. That's what I meant to say. Specialist, and he's a specialist, and I was like, it just reminded me that like the fact that funding's gone to crap. Yeah. It is a shame because these kids would benefit from a specialist in multiple subjects. We just can't afford it, so we have to pretend that we can do it.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Pretending that we can possibly deliver a PE lesson to the same level we can deliver a maths lesson.
Whilst there, one of the sports coaches that he had, a new apprentice he had with him, was an ex-pupil. For my first year, I taught this girl in year 4.
That's crazy.
That made me feel old.
So she was eight
years old,
and she's now 17.
I was like, wow, it's my 9 years of teaching. That made me feel really old, but it was really nice, and it will lead on to one of my points later in the episode, really nicely. So I'll save it. It for then.
Last thing for me, we went swimming this week, and again, this links into something we're going to talk about later. Making those links, guys, making you stick around, because you want that retention curve. Anyway, we went swimming with the children. In year 4 in our school, they go swimming. Oh, they loved it. I'm going to talk more about it later. But classic me, 3 of us went. This is me all over. Beforehand, I printed off the email because I am scatty. I'm just a classic scatty. I forget my own head if it wasn't on my body. And I printed off the email that head of year sent, which was really clear. And I didn't even just have that. I went through it myself and highlighted the key things I needed to remember.
That's what you need to do.
For 2 reasons. Because one, the act of highlighting made it go into my head more.
Did you leave all the kids behind?
And I left all the kids there. Wait, I didn't bring the kids. It was just me and 3 swim teachers.
You brought back some other kids. Over from our school. Who are you?
Just giving them off. There you go. So I highlighted it and I had it all really clear, the timings and what I needed to take. Took the medical box, make sure that all the caps were there, spare caps for the children that have caps. And I've paired them all up nicely so they've got their pairs. I've seen who's not here. I've done a new register with this free staff. I photocopied everything. Oh, nice, perfect. Went to the coach, got there, amazing, got changed nice and quick. We did the swimming lesson, super. The kids were happy, going perfectly.
Sounds like you did a good job.
I went off to with the first lot of the boys so they could get changed. Anna, our teaching assistant, went off with the first lot of the girls, and then our deputy head who came along to help as well was seeing the last few out of the pool to come and join us. Got ready, beat the girls, did a little bit of a race. Let's see and get ready first. Went out there, beat the girls. Girls came out like a minute afterwards. Cool, we're on time. Let's go. We went onto the bus. Fantastic, cool. Got back. All the kids went. All there.
So nothing went wrong. They had good lessons.
Yeah, fantastic. Then the office staff came to me and said, "You've left the medical box at the swimming pool."
You idiot!
Oh, the medical box. The medical box that has to be in school tomorrow when I'm not.
My God.
When I'm not in because my last day is Wednesday. That's all right. That's fine. I'll just drive back to the swimming pool, pick it up, and then come back to school after. It's no problem.
So other than a child, the worst thing you could possibly do.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot the child's here. Thank goodness. Their medicine's not. Yeah. They need that.
That is objectively, for taking away from the jokes for a second, that's terrible.
Yeah, I know.
That's
terrible.
So
for that, if you think about, if I hadn't gone back to get it, because they'd all been gone home by then. If I hadn't gone back to get it, so they had it if they would have needed it swimming, no problem. Yeah. But if I hadn't gone back that next day, if I hadn't remembered, or if they wouldn't
have had their medical box in.
Literally, they wouldn't have had their medical box in school. So it just goes to show, guys, be super vigilant. Don't be like me. Yeah. Too scatty. You got to write things down. And that's one of the things I said last
time.
That is so you.
Prioritize
and write things down.
That is probably the perfect analogy of you, isn't it?
Yeah.
When Dylan's around my house, it's really funny. You're better at it now because you bought a thing for your keys.
That was life-changing, by the way.
Dylan, I don't understand. I don't understand you because I feel like it's so habit. Like, I imagine for everyone listening, right? When you come in, do your keys and purse and bag or wallet, whatever it is, just go in the same place every single day without even thinking? Yes, of course they do.
That'd be convenient.
Dylan would come round and his keys could be anywhere in the house. I'm not even joking. Like the weirdest place you can think of. For some reason, at that point in time, he subconsciously went, "Oh, I'll put my keys there."
Yeah, but
and then can't find them.
Little game to play, innit? Every time I come round.
He's had to put a little fob on his keys that he can ring to find them.
It's called a tile. If anyone does what I do, get a tile. It's called tile, little white thing. I press the thing on my phone and it goes.
Yeah.
The only thing is when I've lost my phone as well.
Yeah, and I've seen you do that. I've seen him do that.
Oh, where are my keys? Wait a minute, let me get my phone. Because then I can, my keys. Oh, where's my phone? Oh, let me get my keys because I can press the button.
Yeah.
Because you can press the button on your keys and your phone goes off.
No way.
And you can press the button on your phone and your keys go off.
And you've lost them both.
But if you lose them both, you just gotta walk home.
It's so funny. He does it all the time.
Right, anyway, that's been a longer catch-up than I think we anticipated.
Yeah.
Shall we crack on to the main part of this?
Yeah.
I was going to say lesson again.
This lesson.
Yeah. Let's call them lessons.
Should we call them lessons now? Guys,
all right. Yeah.
Look, customers, listen.
Yeah.
We've made up a few terms over the years.
We have, haven't we, Undaft?
It's been over a year now.
Yeah. Over the years. One of them.
Over the years, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what one? We can stop, like, when a toddler gets to one.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you should stop calling them by months.
Yeah, it's kind of like the weeks
How old's
thing.
your kid? 1, finished, done.
Yeah,
one.
68 weeks. Well, really?
16 months, 3 days, and 2 hours. Yeah.
I'm already at the point now where I think we should stop using weeks. Do you use weeks anymore?
No, I just say 0.
You've gone straight to years.
Yeah. How old's your kid? Nothing.
0.
He's 0.
Yeah, I've now started transitioning. I used to say like 11 weeks, 12 weeks, but now I'm like 3 months.
Yeah, months.
And I think that it would just be 4 months.
Yeah, because he's 5 months soon. So it's like I couldn't even tell you how many weeks he is.
Yeah,
quite a few weeks.
Yeah.
Although it was good for my maths class when we were doing our 7 times table, and he was from 0 to 12. Every week we started off. And I was just like, how many days old is Rory now?
Yeah,
and they were like,
really good.
oh, come back out.
Love that. Good idea. Wish I did that.
Should we?
Thanks for telling me that.
Let's play the jingle. You might remember last week we talked about shout outs. We did 3.
I don't.
I put an Instagram thing out because you don't remember anything.
Terrible.
God, that was amazing. We did 3 shout outs, and I was just talking to a few people as well who reached out. And I posted one onto our Instagram actually, and it was a message from this TA who'd been working as TA for about 8 years.
Yeah.
Was in the had been a HLTA, so covered and stuff, and is now in the middle of training to become a teacher. And she just sent us a message basically, just like saying, "I love the podcast."
She's a HLTA. Already a teacher then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, literally. Yeah, she
Quit
is a
training.
teacher. Yeah, literally. Yeah, you've done it.
You've done it.
I thought you were going to be really horrible. She's HLTA. Not a teacher, is she? Like some
no,
people.
They are just teachers, aren't
completely.
they?
And some people just have this weird, like, thing already where they're just. I'm like, no, they're teachers. They are teachers.
You just got to get the qualification.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
Well done to you, by the way.
So she's on the way to getting a qualification. She just wanted to say thank you for podcasts, etc. And it finished off in a way that. I don't want to say shocked us, but
we were like,
yeah, but it was really nice because I know sometimes in the podcast when you get 2 teachers sat here and you got the context of strikes and stuff and like education in possibly its most crippled state ever.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to come up with some negativity sometimes.
Yeah,
that's
of course.
Just,
and
that's how it
criticism.
is. So it was really nice, genuinely, to read at the end where she said she's going into it eyes open. She knows it's tough, but it's podcasts like ours which help her see the positive and how good it's going to be.
And I think my response to you was, has she been watching our podcast?
But I do think that we do naturally talk very highly of all the great things about teaching.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be really cool this week to do a shout out to that TA to talk about her and kind of mold a whole episode around it. So
you inspired us today.
Yeah, it's completely positive now. So we're gonna do a whole episode about our favorite things about teaching. Before we do, I want to talk about one other shout out we had. It was from Elle Clark. Found out. Guess what?
Because I said, who's that?
Yeah. Guess what her name is?
Lauren.
Lauren. I was like, she said, yeah, that's my name. Very, useful.
Yeah.
So anyway, she talked to us again. She did the shout out last week. She messaged us and she said she's listening from Sydney.
No way.
Which I love.
Sydney.
I know we talked before about how we're in so many plays in so many countries and stuff, but like I always love it when someone messages, like the person from Zambia a few months ago, actually messages and said, Oh, my Monday's nearly over. I've listened to the podcast because we wake up, right? We publish the podcast in the middle of the night just so that it's there whenever people wake up. I wake up at 6 and it's got the podcast has like numerous plays.
Yeah.
Like way more than
I'm
I'm
thinking,
like,
who's up before us?
no one's listened to this podcast.
Different countries, of course.
Different
Does make
countries.
sense. I never really thought about that.
Because she listens to it on her way home, so it times perfect.
Do you know what would be record? I don't know if it's. I'm just doing this live on the spot. What might be quite a cool series one day for us to do? Maybe like a sub series, not just the main episodes. It's like just get a guest from a teacher guest from different countries, and just find out what teaching's like in that country. Because I have no idea, other than like America, which we're often compared with.
Yeah,
I don't really know what teaching is like.
Our two biggest countries, other than UK for listeners, is America and Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it's Spain.
So I couldn't even tell you. I'd be guessing if the Australian system's similar.
Yeah, I think it's quite similar, but again, it would be interesting to find out. Anyway, all that aside, we're going to do a really positive episode this week. It's all our favourite things, what we love about teaching.
Yes.
So we've put together a list, Hayden and I again. We've not necessarily shared it with each other fully. We kind of know what's coming-ish. We're going to take it in turns. Hayden, we're going to start with you.
Yep.
Hayden, what's your favourite thing about teaching?
Really, really positive episode, Dylan.
Yep.
My favourite thing about teaching is the overtime.
Oh, okay. We've gone straight into sarcasm.
The overtime, I'm just joking. Of course.
Brilliant.
I just want to make a quick shout out to an article that came out the other day.
Yeah.
Check it out if you can. We'll talk briefly about it. But Tez released an article saying that teachers, it's been proven as if anyone didn't know, teachers is the worst profession for unpaid overtime.
Wow.
And I quote to you, the average weekly overtime across employees as teachers is 4.5 hours a week.
No, it's not.
4.5 hours.
No, it's not.
Yeah?
No, it's not. You've read it completely wrong.
Across all
That's
employees.
the average weekly overtime for teachers.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
No, it's for all employees.
Oh.
Right, so this guy doesn't even know his own stats, so it's good. I'll read that, shall I, for you, Hayden?
You read it for me.
The average weekly overtime of anyone is 4.4 hours, and I saw a real
But for teachers,
Mr. P made very quickly, where he said, like, yeah, we know everyone does overtime, but A, it's paid, and 2, it's much less.
Yeah.
So for the average worker, you do 4.5 hours overtime.
Which is
week.
what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it for teachers then, Hayden, if you know your stats so well?
26. We're just over 26 hours.
That's crazy, isn't it?
26 hours, unpaid.
Yeah, unpaid overtime. Because, like we said all the time, our contract really does run from 8:50 until 3:30. So all of that prep we do every single day, I think teachers often forget that is completely unpaid overtime. So whenever you're like, oh no, I don't want to do that planning at the weekend, actually. I'm going to push the boat out. It's like, no, because you've already done 15 hours of overtime that week. So there's no, you're already well in the green. Don't worry about that. No problem at all.
For sure.
So come on, but let's go straight into positive. Come on. Come on. Go on. What did you want to say?
I was just going to say I like the article because number one, I feel like it's coming more to light now. All these things are getting just pushed a bit more, into the mainstream. And it also then went on to talk about the workload reduction task force that we talked about.
Yeah,
I was about to say task load reduction workforce. I was thinking, no, that's definitely not the right phrase. And we talked about it. Go and check out season 2, episode 18. It's one of my favorite episodes where we just unpicked that committee report. I loved that episode. Anyway, so in all seriousness, I'm going to hand it back to you. Let's do our favorite things. Genuine. We're going to be really positive now. And I'm not even joking.
Quick preface though is because we do love actually teaching. We love those parts of the job. We're not going to go about all the other stuff. We've done that a million times.
I thought we were acting.
We
pretending.
love teaching.
We do actually love it.
Yeah, we do love it.
Sorry, we do love it.
Yeah,
we do.
I don't think you can do something for 8 or 9 years and not actually love some of it. I couldn't anyway. I would have left by now. Yeah. So, favorite things.
Start.
Number one. One of my favorite things ever is when you just turn a corner with a child. And I don't mean solely educationally. I don't mean solely socially. I mean any kind of corner that you turn with a young person and you feel like you have directly contributed to an improvement in their life. So it could well be that they understand something now. It could well be that this is one of the most amazing things about teaching. You guys teach children how to read.
Yeah.
That's wow. Like, just think about that. Like, think about that in the whole of human history for a minute. You have the skills and the ability to sit with a child and teach them to read. Just think what that actually unlocks for them, which is absolutely everything in their life. Every single one of us was taught to read. And that is just easy to kind of gloss over. So I'm saying to turning a corner, just the basics of you teach them to count, you teach them to read, you teach them to tie their shoelaces, you teach them to behave in a way which is socially acceptable and is going to make sure that they're, fair to their peers and things like that. If you turn a corner with a child who maybe is a bit behind on those things, whatever it might be, that child now sits down for a whole lesson and pays attention. A
lot of those things are just passive as well. We take it for granted, like you said. And then there's other things like, I don't know about you, but I personally get that really, really nice feeling when it's something social. I don't know why it's social. It's always the social things.
I think it's because you've been trained and you're a professional and this is our job almost, is the maths, the English, the reading, the history. But you're talking about something which
like
you
a personal
you go the
thing
extra
almost.
mile, don't you? Really?
Yeah. Like there's been we've mentioned a few over the episodes over the years. But just like things where it's like a child is struggling maybe in a social group or a social situation, or even just in class, like, and your influence directly helps them, and then their relationships get better with their peers or whatever. I'm like, I love those moments so much. You look outside and they're playing now, and they couldn't do it before because they just didn't have the social skills. They didn't understand how to interact appropriately, you know, or whatever it is. But yeah, I agree. Turning a corner.
I've had children before who struggle controlling their emotions, and even just talking to them about it and teaching them about their emotions, and you know, putting a label on what that emotion is and that it's okay to feel that way, and then it's how you react to that is something you can take control of. Yeah, watching children take control of their reaction to things they have no control over is one of my favorite parts of the job, because you can say to a child, you are going to feel angry in the same way that you're going to feel happy. So I am not going to stand here. I would never stand here and say, you can't feel angry, because that is the same as me saying you can't feel happy, you can't feel excited. You don't control your emotions. But what I've seen with a lot of children, and it's one of my favorite parts of the job, is watching them learn what to do after. And that can really transform a child's social awareness, their relationship with their peers, and in the end as well, their academic achievement, because they feel that way, they understand it, they accept it, and through you teaching them, they've turned that corner, they've made progress in that respect, and that's going to have a huge impact on them. I just absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite parts of the job.
It's very, very rewarding, isn't it? Very
exactly
nice.
that.
Number 2 then. So my first one is very different to yours, actually. It's something I love about teaching is that every day is unique. Yeah. Every day is different. So I really struggled before I went to teaching with jobs that were very, very samey. And a lot of people actually love that. Yeah. They like the routine of, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. There's no stress because I don't have to just think on the spot all the time and solve problems. But teaching is a bit like that. It's got actually a bit of both, really, isn't it? Because, you know, your day's quite well structured with your school timetable and things. So you kind of know what is roughly coming. But every day is unique in terms of there are 32 children, usually, in your class, and anything could happen. Anything could have happened with them in the last 24 hours. They could be upset. They could be happy. They could want to tell you a great thing. They could want to tell you a terrible thing. And then, you know, your team around you could come to you a massive problem. Oh no, the internet's down. Oh, what are you going to do? Oh, we need a new resource. Oh no, Ofsted are coming in. You know, whatever. Like your every day is just really different, and it keeps me on my toes. And I think it just keeps my brain active and pleased. I don't know. I just need that kind of
that stimulus.
That stimulus.
Because I've seen a lot of people lately talk about the exact point you're making about. Every day is unique, but then to extrapolate from that, it's like we are constant problem solvers. I can't stress to people enough who don't work in teaching, especially with younger children in primary school or early years, whatever it might be, how mentally taxing it is to deliver lessons to the children. Because not only it's almost enough of a mental load to just deliver the lesson itself. If you were doing meetings in an office of adults, delivering meetings all day blocked out, that would be a day like, wow, that's a crazy day.
Yeah, that's
a lot to do. You've also then got to control children and make sure they're paying attention.
And there's 32 people in this meeting.
30 exactly every single time.
Usually.
You've got to, you know, change what you're doing to help them. But the thing I'm talking about when you're to kind of link with what you're saying, every day is unique, is they don't have the same filter as adults do. Like you could deliver a CPD, right, to a bunch of teachers from a school and then probably pick that CPD up and do it next week in a different school. Yeah. And it'd be very sane.
You get roughly the same reaction.
You're still teaching, but you're probably going to get the same reaction. I've seen a lot lately of people describing this as negative and really taxing on the brain, which I think it is. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
But it's nice to hear you kind of flip that and say that's a positive for you. So how do you kind of balance the fact every day is unique with like mental burnout, basically?
Well, I mean, check out our last episode. I think they're almost two separate things.
Do you think?
I think so, yeah. I don't think the fact that every day is unique is the reason for burnout. I think it's the length of time you have to do the job,
or the sheer number of children, maybe
sheer number of children, or even just the sheer number of tasks you have to actually get done in a day. I think if the tasks were reduced, then I'd thoroughly enjoy my day even more, and it wouldn't be the fact that every day was different that's a problem. Because I like problem solving. So if you're one of those kind of people, if you're listening and not a teacher maybe, and you're thinking, actually, I'm just bored of a job where I have to do the same thing every day, then maybe teaching's a job you should consider, because it is great for problem solving and thinking on the spot every day, and just knowing that every day is a bit different. You can come home and talk about your day. It's always going to be different to the day before. There's something happens every day. Like some kids might come up to you and say, "Oh, you've got green skin on your neck." Anything could happen.
I like the fact every day is unique is something that keeps a lot of people in the job.
Yeah, 100%.
So it is a positive, because I've spoken to numerous people, you and I included, where you do sometimes think when you've had a bit of a stressful week and you do feel exceptionally burnt out, or there's just too much going on, you think, you know what, I could just do with a job where I just go in, I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to leave.
Can I tell you what? I've never thought that in my life.
You've not?
No, there's never. I'm really, really, really don't like those jobs. I can't think of any situation ever where I'd enjoy that.
Exactly, and but the point being, even when I thought that, if I've ever got to the point where I sit down and I think, right, what could I do? Every single time, I'm like, God, no.
Yeah. No.
Like when you actually think about the realistic side of that, for me personally, this is a huge draw to the job. Every day is unique, and you can apply professional skills. And if you're in a school that gives you that bit of personal freedom to mold those days how you want to, it's fantastic.
Your mind will be stimulated all the time,
100%.
and I just need that to be happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Next one. This is I think this is linked in a way, because we're making comparisons with other jobs. Okay. But the thing I love the most is having fun. It's having fun. And I'm going to go deeper, because we talked about having fun a lot. We talked about, being silly with the children, saying you're an ogre, right? These low-level things that just dangle that carrot in front of the children, because sometimes what we have to deliver by the curriculum is dry. And I see it as part of my job to ensure that the children, if I want children, right, who are in my class to go home and say they had fun today. I don't want there to be a single day where the children go home and say, God, that was boring. Which can very easily happen.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you think in the morning we're doing cross multiplication and fractions, in English we're doing a reading comprehension text on the most boring non-fiction thing ever that I've got no interest in, and in the afternoon we had to fit in an RE lesson and a geography lesson about a river in South America. Objectively, that 6 hours of work could be horrendously boring. So as a teacher, it's my job to make sure they have fun. But above that, and pushing on from that, the reason I love teaching is I'm allowed to do that with my professional judgment and bond with the children and then get more out of them. But I'm talking as well, like when we went swimming this week, the smiles on the children's faces genuinely like almost transformed me back to my NQT days when like, that's all I wanted to do. And the idea of a child being sad made me upset. And I'm never going to make a child cry. I just want to have fun. Those trips, it really, I've said it a million times, but it does really get to me that's what's being here. It feels like at the moment is all of that enrichment in those trips, because at the end of the day, it's the children where school's the only chance they get to have those moments. I want to give it to them as much as possible. Swimming was that moment for me where you just look around, whether they're in the deep end because they're experienced swimmers, some kids are in the shallow end practicing their strokes because they can kind of swim, some children are in the paddling bit because they don't know how to swim. All of them were having a good time. Yeah. Smiling.
They're enjoying
happy,
their life.
Enjoying it.
In that moment.
And even the ones who are a bit anxious beforehand, not one of them in the pool was upset. They go out, that was so fun. And I'll be honest, I even said to them, I was like, makes a change, doesn't it, from having to write in your book about rivers?
Yeah, having to write in your book about swimming.
Literally, yeah. It just makes a change. And they were like, yeah, that was so good. And I tell you what, I got off essentially at about 4:00 from that. So we were very late back to school, which is normal. Then a few children were waiting to be picked up.
Then the medical box.
That was even later, even still. But I didn't resent it whatsoever. I was like, okay, spent an extra 40 minutes where I could have been doing my marking, could have been doing this. Didn't resent it at all. And that was that's peak teaching. When these teachers, myself included, and you and everyone who's listening who works in a school, has that streak in them where they want to do it for the kids. And no matter what's happened, that's still there. That was there for me again. And I think it's having fun.
Yeah. And also, I suppose you could counteract it with you weren't teaching a lesson that afternoon that needed marking. And if you were, it would have taken you that amount of time to mark anyway. So when you getting back late was kind of like your marking time for the swimming.
And they're just having a good time.
Well, I'm going to jump in with the next one. I'm just going to band it with this because you basically mentioned my next point, which is making children laugh. Because it's very, very similar point, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's I guess it's the same thing. But making children laugh is possibly my favorite part of the job. I think it's the thing that makes me feel the most happy.
Is that a selfish thing, do you think? Or do you think
literally about to say, I think it's on a very, very selfish level about what I enjoy about teaching is making the kids laugh. And not everyone might be, not everyone's the same. Not everyone's the same. But I value that really highly because it makes me really happy. And I think it makes me happy because it makes them happy. And I just, I like making people happy. But yeah, it's similar to you. I make them laugh with enrichment activities, but also things that I just always think back to. I always think back to COVID.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if we've told this story before. Probably have.
Probably about 4 times, I remember.
But it's just the most pure fun we ever had this one day during COVID when it was like key worker children in and all that stuff. We had, I don't know, maybe 20 kids in, if that. Probably not even that.
Less than that, probably.
15 to 20. And we were like, cool, we're going to go out. It was a beautiful day. Beautiful sunny day. We'd done a bit of learning in the classroom. And I was like, right, cool. Done a bit of that. Let's go outside for the rest of the day.
We were told to be outside as much as possible.
Exactly. We were supposed to be. And we were like, cool, let's do some PE. I haven't done PE in ages. And we were like, okay, PE cupboard needs to be tidied.
And cleaned.
Let's get every single piece of equipment out of the PE cupboard. And we're talking, like, you think about your school's PE cupboard, like how much stuff there actually is to, for kids.
We got out stuff that hadn't seen this day of life.
I know.
In years.
We got every single thing out, made a massive pile of it, and divided the whole playground.
I said the day of light.
That was in the day of light.
Sorry.
It was like earlier when you said, I'd forget my head. And I was expecting you to say the phrase, if it wasn't screwed on. I'd forget my head if it wasn't on my body, is what you said. And I sort of smirked and I was like, I'm not going to take this.
Sorry. Yeah, go on the equipment now.
Anyway, really quick, I'll just finish the story. But we got them to make a massive obstacle course, and then we played around on this obstacle course using every single piece of equipment from the PE cupboard, using up the entire playground, and it was the most fun. I had so much fun, and the kids had so much fun. They went home. I like to think they went home and said, yeah, I've had the best day ever. But just that to me, you get to do that in teaching all the time. You don't get to take all the PE equipment out, but you get to have those mini experiences of fun all the time with the kids. And it makes that day. And one day we're going to do an episode, we've said this loads of times, where I'm going to present to you my made-up school. Because I often think about
this since episode 1.
I often think about making up at my own school how I'd run a school in an ideal world, where perhaps budget didn't crush in my dreams.
I think that's just called what every head teacher
would
do.
Yeah. And one day we're going to do an episode and Dylan's going to just grill me on this made up school. But my top thing would be, the top priority is kids to leave school having had fun. And you sort of said it in your point. They have to leave school happy. Yeah. If they're not leaving school happy, then I tell you what, those lessons you did, that was a waste of time.
Yeah. Happy children.
Anyway,
we're not in a totalitarian regime where we just the only outcome has to be that they understand that the date of the death of King Henry VIII was hit.
Yeah,
don't care.
We always go to that, don't we?
Yeah, I know.
When we go knowledge based, we always go to King Henry VIII.
What did I learn at school?
Henry VIII. Yeah, it's true. It's
absolutely
pointless knowledge.
Right, next one for me. What do I love about teaching? It's the responsibility, of making sure it's my job to provide for children things that they might otherwise not get. Yeah. And sure. Some people might describe that as a burden almost, or a heavy responsibility. Well, yeah, if you're a doctor, you're in charge of people's health. Like, that's a big burden and responsibility. I don't think our burden is maybe necessarily at that level of like a doctor or a surgeon or something, but it's bloody high. And I think it's a lot higher than some people realize. And as a teacher, I love giving children safety, comfort, experiences they wouldn't otherwise get. And harping back to earlier, these points kind of link through. It's all down to the kids, really. I want to give them things that otherwise, without this system where I'm their class teacher and providing them with these things, they might not necessarily get.
Honestly, love and care.
Yeah. 100%.
A lot of the time, it's like there are children, unfortunately, every single year, who don't get much love and aren't very well cared for. Obviously, we know how the country works. We know how different demographics work. Yeah. And yeah, it is nice, isn't it? Just to show those kids, oh, no, you are loved. You are really cared for. We really care for you. We love you in this school. This community loves you.
Yeah.
You
safe haven.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That is a very, very rewarding feeling, isn't it?
Really rewarding. And that's like, to me, again, that's something that I would miss so much. And this is something when I was putting my list together, I was I went, okay, what do I love? But it was almost easier for me to think, okay, it's easy for me to forget what I love sometimes. It's to not really, what do I love? Why do I keep teaching you? I said, well, I'm just going to quit one day. But then I thought, okay, I'm going to look at this list a different way, which is, if I didn't do this job, what would I end up really missing? Yeah. And I think that, that responsibility of providing that environment for so many children in our community, just ensuring that they get what they need. Like there's something every day. You again, it's easy to forget, but you do it every single day still.
It's interesting how our first 5 points, I know it does change a bit, but our first 5 have all been very similar in terms of they're all to do with like very emotive, aren't they? The things we like about teaching. It's like if you thought about a different job, the things about you love about working at Tesco, like I used to, it might be the hours I get.
Yeah.
I like doing this particular element of the job. I like stacking the shelves more than I like doing the tills.
Yeah.
But so far, our first 5 points have all very much been these really, really like emotive things about how much you love basically just being with the kids, watching them grow, watching them learn, helping them, showing them that they're loved, making them feel safe. All this stuff is like, I didn't really think about it.
Yeah, neither did I until you made that point.
We have got a couple of points, I think, that are a bit more.
But this is in the order that I thought of them as well. So it's really interesting to think that actually, you know what? If these ever weren't the first things that came out of our mouth when we kind of asked ourselves these questions, again, I think that is the point where you would have to be like, okay, this is the thing keeping me in this job. It's the children and helping them. And I think very quickly, the last thing I want to say about providing for children who don't necessarily have stuff. I've said it a million times before. I'm no martyr or anything like that. But I was a free school meals kid. We lived in so many houses when I was younger, and like when I'm talking really young up north and stuff, we just didn't have much, and I loved school. And I think that if that didn't happen to me, and I didn't have that experience of school as like, wow, this place I can excel and do this amazing stuff. And I love these teachers, and I love to be there. And these teachers really helped me and molded me and gave me what I needed and looked after me and then helped my mum and then, just provided all that stuff. I think that lived experience has molded why I want to do teaching as well.
Yeah, it was a big part of your life.
People have said to me, don't go into teaching. You could do this or that. You're just not going to teaching. It's got no money. It's like, oh, okay, I know, but God, it feels good though.
One of the hardest parts of teaching is recognizing all this as something that makes the job extremely rewarding and great to do, but also balancing what we talked about last episode, just the rough side of the work. The fact that also you can burn out and then be terrible at doing all of this because you're burnt out, and you've just got to balance all the time. Oh, I want to do this enrichment activity, but it's 5 p.m. I haven't done any marking. I can't really do this club, and it's so hard. That's one of the biggest challenges of this job, is wanting to do all these things all the time, but you're just restricted by literal time.
That's why we're in such a predicament. We've got these amazing teachers leaving because they've just the scales tipped, and it's not their fault. And
they would love to probably have provided these things.
Absolutely.
Anyway, my next one is a bit different now. So moving on, is something I like about the job is you can control your day a little bit in terms of time. Like if I turned up at 7 or if I turned up 8 or even 8:30.
Oh, I see.
No one's actually going to be annoyed at me.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I'm there basically to teach the kids, as long as I'm there to do my contracted hours, which this sounds stupid, and I'm sure you can rip into it. But and even at the end of the day, I know of our head teacher at least, if I needed to go at 3:20, right, like minutes after the kids left, I would obviously ask him because that is a bit earlier than our contracted time, but he'd be cool with it. He'd be like, yeah, of course. Because he knows that normally I'm there till 5 o'clock doing work. But equally, if I needed to stay till 5:45 one day because I just got to get a load of stuff done, it's fine. So I like that control.
Sure.
If I want to go off early, I can just go off early.
I know exactly what you mean, because people are like, what are you on about? You just talked about how regimented the school day is.
Yeah.
But you're right in terms of... Yeah, we have 26 hours of overtime every week, but you know what? I can do it whenever I want.
You can do it when you want. Yeah.
I like the fact I can do my extra work on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, basically.
But no, I know what you mean, because I guess what you're saying is, okay, I've done this a million times. Everyone who works in a school has. It's got to like 4, right? 4:30. Yeah. And you're like, okay, I've got 2 sets of books to mark. I could either mark them now or in the morning. What's better for me?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's better for me to mark it in the morning because that means I can nip to the shop, get stuff for dinner, and not be rushing.
That's exactly what I mean.
So you have that autonomy of, okay, yes, you have to get the work done, but you know the joke of teachers finishing at 3:30. Sometimes you can, you do have that.
If you have to make up the work another time, you don't just get to not do the work. Then it's not like I don't know. I imagine some office jobs maybe you might be able to leave early once a year, and I left early.
Yeah, but you still got your work.
You still got to do the work. Whereas I know I have friends in those kind of jobs where, if they were sort of burnt out by 4 p.m, they wouldn't be able to just say to the boss, I'm just going to head home today. I'll come in an hour earlier tomorrow. See you later.
Yeah.
That would be questionable. You wouldn't be able to just do that, whereas we can, and I love that. That's what I love about the job. There is total freedom of, if I want to go early, I'm going early, and if I have to come in tomorrow morning to get it done, it's up to me. No one's going to question me on that.
That is definitely balanced with the school environment that you're in.
Yeah, 100%.
And maybe how experienced you are and how, ballsy you are, basically, to be like, no, that's not happening because of X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, we've got, someone at our school, famously leaves every day at like...
Famously,
yeah.
it's in the annals of the school, written down, passed from
Famously in our
generation
school.
to generation. The famous leaving early of Sam Hudson.
So Sam Hudson, she famously in our school leaves earlier, like as in like 4.
Damn right.
4:15.
She knows what she's doing. She's been teaching forever.
Yeah.
She's great at what she does.
But she comes in at like 7 a.m.
Exactly.
if not earlier.
Yeah.
So she just flips her workload around.
Yeah.
So I'll do marketing. I'll try and stay as late as I can to get everything done because I'm not a morning person. I'll get in as late as possible in the morning. Whereas she comes in an hour before me, gets it done then, and that's okay. Like
you get in so late.
Yeah, I do. No one cares. Like it's like as long as you do the job, like as long as you're doing that free overtime, we don't mind when you do it.
Yeah. It's a good job you said famously, because I was like, oh, what kind of mythology of the school are you going to bring up this time? Oh,
Sam Hudson, the myth,
famously.
the legend.
I reckon we can do some independent writing about that.
Yeah, Sam listens to this sometimes. This will be a good test. I think she's fallen off the bandwagon. I don't think she listens anymore.
Oh, come on, guys.
We'll see, Sam.
We're Dwindler. We're down to Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. Come on.
We're losing all our listeners.
Anyway, is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
This one is obvious. I think we are guilty of overlooking it sometimes. And there's a lot of reasons why. And again, we're in a positive mood. I'm not going to go through all the negatives and why it doesn't... Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, my point here is the school holidays and the pension. Like, let's be real for a second.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic perk of the job. I'm going to say overtime, and you know what the points are already. So, yeah, okay, maybe our whole school holiday isn't. But you know what? If you've got kids... and you are a teacher, you do not need to sort any childcare for 13 weeks of the year when the kids are off.
Yep.
That is a headache for any other adults who are working. They've got to take holiday time, unpaid time, rope in their parents to help them, make it work. 13 weeks off in the year, again, where, linked to what you said, you have control over that time at least. Yeah, okay, you might have a bunch of planning to do in half term like you did. Could you have done that planning during term time? Let's say you're going away.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was literally just thinking of...
You could have done it.
Someone I work with.
I just touched you again.
I touched
That's number 2 for the episode. This time it was your hand.
Right? You okay?
Yeah, it was a bit damp.
Do we need a break?
No, I'm good.
Bit damp.
Bit damp.
I do get clammy
Do you have a
hands,
condition?
I better go to the doctors and check again. Try and get an appointment.
No, right, mate, you're waiting to next half term for a doctor.
Sorry, we've got Mr. Moleman's in first. He's
Hello, I'd like to check my clammy hands, please. Would you like a phone appointment? Not really. Anyway, the school holidays and the pension. The perks, okay? So school holiday, I mean, it is what it is.
But you're right, you asked me a question, so you absolutely can. And I know teachers that do this. They will just sacrifice some of their evenings in term time to just free up their half term completely with their kids or whatever. So it's doable.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is the pension. The pension is nowhere near as good as it used to be. Let's get that straight. So I know
it used to be final salary.
Yeah, we worked with someone who retired probably 2 years into our teaching, who finished on final salary, and it's just like,
and she was like right up there, head of year.
And she was complaining because she couldn't retire 3 years early. It's like,
we won't be retiring.
Yeah. I saw a meme the other day.
Our pension's good.
I saw a meme the other day. And it was just this bloke who must be like 76 at a computer, and he goes, me sending silly emails because I can't retire till I'm 76. And it's just a bloke like, it's mental, it's mad, it's gonna be crazy.
I can't imagine being a teacher in my 60s.
I can't imagine being a teacher in my 30s. Like by the end of my 30s, genuinely. Because for the same reason we've just been saying, all this is fantastic, but it catches up with you.
It is quite a young game, isn't it? I don't know what your schools are like, but all the schools I've ever been in, generally it's like disproportionately weighted towards people in their 20s and 30s.
And that's moved, I think, over the years.
Yeah,
when we were in school, all teachers were like 50, 60.
They just were just older. It was a highly regarded profession.
But the perks, I think, regardless of whether they're better or worse than they were, I still think they're very good. And when you compare a teacher pension to a normal pension, or
we get a great
holidays,
pension, guys.
Yeah,
very, very good.
Pay into it. Pay as much as you can into it, like we should, because we aren't part time.
Yeah, we need to up it.
We
need to do that. Anyway, my last point really, summer term. So not summer holidays, but the summer term.
So in school.
There's just something about. I can just imagine it, right? I can shut my eyes and I can literally picture it.
Yeah.
There's something about on summer term.
Smelly year sixes.
yeah, not the smelly year sixes. Open all the doors and windows. But going out onto the field for whatever reason, and it's really sunny, beautiful green grass. Everyone's just in there in one layer of clothing because it's so warm, and just being out there. There's something really
playing
lovely.
Rounders.
Playing a bit of rounders. Just whatever it is, whatever reason you're out there for, is just. So
is there
nice.
a better moment as a teacher when your class are playing a game of rounders? You're stood there, you're umpiring. It's 26 degrees. You got your water bottle. Your kids
you catch
it
one-handed, bam, out.
Or you do what I do.
Yeah.
And I walked up to bat one time, and I was like, I used to play cricket, so I'll go and show him how it's done. I was like, go on in, guys, come on in. Mr. Price,
He's going to play.
I went on the team that were losing. They needed a rounder to win. And I was like, actually, they've got one more batter. And I walked in, the rest of them, no, not fair, it's not fair. Well, I got one more batter.
And all the fielders run back.
Yeah, they all run back.
You're going to whack it really far.
Got there, we got my bat. Guy threw it to me, the bowler. I absolutely whacked it, connected perfectly, hit the kid right in the neck.
No! Oh, exactly what we were saying last time about...
And I was like, this is the risk of having fun with the kid. The kid was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Spoke to his parents after. Parents absolutely fine. But the point, just be careful.
But you did just pelt a kid with a ball.
Literally. And just from having fun. It's like, okay, this is really good. You have to be careful. I've heard stories before of teachers joining in football at lunchtime and a child has broken their ankle.
Well, I know exactly who you're talking about.
I know.
Because that same person gave me advice like 8-9 years ago when he saw me. You know how I was talking last episode about how I'd go out at break times and try to do that extra thing.
He's going to love that. He's come over to talk to me. He's going to tell me how good I am.
How great I am. And he was just like, he basically just said... And I won't forget it. He was like, be extremely careful. And he was like, don't play 100%. Is that if you're running 100% your speed as a fully grown adult into an 8-year-old, you're going to hurt them. Like, accident or not, you're going to lose your job.
Makes me think of that Boris Johnson meme when he's playing Soccer Aid. And he just literally rugby tackles a guy. It's like, that's you playing football.
That's him in presidency. That's the presidency? Presidency! He's the president of the UK.
Oh, God.
But summer term, man. It's just something special.
Does your school do this, guys, if you're listening, where in summer term, just randomly, just an afternoon, someone comes around with lollipop, like ice pops, ice cream.
Or any treat like that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And we go and sit in the shade and read our books.
That's what I was going to say about summer term. Even in I'll find an excuse in a maths lesson to go outside. We're
going to measure the intensity of the sun ray.
But sir, this lesson's on perimeter.
We're measuring the intensity. Measure the distance from here to the sun, please.
Yes. Yeah, but any excuse to go outside, it is just lovely. To being able to do that, it's just what a great perk of the job.
Again, stuck in a stuffy office, the aircon's broken.
Yeah, and a boiling.
Get out there, my son.
So we've got one final point that's just summarises, haven't we? Really, everything.
I touched you again. Oh my gosh!
Stop touching my knees. I'm putting my knees really close to you on purpose. Yeah. Stop! Oh, Dylan, stop touching my knees.
Stop it, please. Stop. It's making me feel uncomfortable. Right.
Anyway, so we've kind of encapsulated this point, especially in the first 5 points, right?
I think we both kind of looked over and said, there's a theme to mine. There's a theme to mine. Yeah. It was this. This job, teaching, is incredibly fulfilling. It's extremely rewarding. And that, we could have just said at the beginning of the episode, that's the best thing about this job. But what we did really is we delved into why. I talked about exactly what I love. Exactly.
That
is what we love.
But they are. Most of those points were because, it's really fulfilling and it makes you feel great.
The point you made was really, really interesting. That is completely accidental. Like the first few were just about the kids. Yeah. And you speak to any teacher, it's the same. This isn't groundbreaking stuff. It might be nice to hear because you're thinking, that is what I like. But it's not groundbreaking stuff here. That there's not a lot keeping us in this profession. Okay. No. Yeah, we talked about the perks and stuff that come along with it. There are a lot of anti perks, let's say, that go against those and why it's maybe not so good. The only thing that keeps this profession afloat is the feeling and the desire for teachers to be fulfilled. And that's where the saying, it's a vocation comes from. I think it's a terrible thing to say because it diminishes the fact that it's a profession and a job.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, for some people, it is a vocation. It doesn't mean that we have to treat it like one. So please don't get misconstrued what I'm saying here. But that is what keeps us in the job though. The love for the help of the children.
If you also happen to like doing 26 hours of unpaid overtime a week, then it's a win-win. There's no downsides of the job.
Do you not remotely value your time? Because that was us when we were in NTs, by the way. Jokes aside, that was us.
I couldn't have enjoyed my life more for those first couple of years because I didn't care.
Yeah,
I loved spending my time doing it.
It actually was your vocation.
Yeah, it was properly. My life was teaching for those first couple of years, and then life builds up. You get a bit older, and other things come into life that are important, and life changes. But
you didn't have a girlfriend. You didn't have your own house. You didn't have.
Didn't have you. I did.
Yeah, we had each other. That's why we did
it. Yeah.
No, I meant that in a way where you didn't have any kind of commitments.
Back when we used to touch hands a lot more often.
No, don't.
We didn't. We never did.
No.
Never let me.
Don't cry about it.
Never let me. Never let me as if I want to.
With them hands.
I just want to hold hands with Dylan, all right?
Jeez, right. This is descending. Yeah, that's why we love teaching, guys. Why do you love teaching? Let us know. We're going to play a jingle, and you've got a bit of a little game. Is it a game?
It's my kind of game. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a game.
Because last week it was a game. It wasn't. It
Yeah.
was a question.
This is a game.
It's not.
Let's come back after the jingle. It's a game.
It's not a game, is it? Okay, on the subject of earlier me forgetting the medical box, I forgot that literally the second before we started recording, I put out a little Instagram thing asking people what their favourite part of the job is.
Ooh.
They've only had 1 hour. We've had a few replies. I'm just going to read the first one because I know we're overrunning.
Go for
So
it.
this is from Robert. Okay. This really made me laugh because it links to what we're saying.
Okay.
His favourite thing about the job is the things the kids come up with. So just what the children come out with in general. And he's given the exact example, though, of his children have given him a nickname called Mr. Torture.
Oh, wow. What a nickname.
We're going to dive into that. But the fact the kids are calling them that, I don't know, to me, again, it just stinks. Stinks is the wrong word. Like, it just reeks of. Reek is also the wrong word. It gives off this idea. It's positive, I promise, Robert. It gives off this idea that the kids are so comfortable with him.
Yeah. That's
So, like, having such a good time, and like they build those really strong bonds. And that is something that I'd add to my list
from that
as well.
story alone. I bet he's a fun teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that he lets his kids call him Mr. Torture means they're fun. It's just got to be, isn't it?
And I think linked onto that is what the kids come out with. The things the kids literally come up with.
Yeah.
Just in general is one of my favorite parts.
Well, that's hilarious, and I know you don't know this because that links so well to this game.
Have you got an actual game then?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
I say
Right.
it is a game. It is a game.
Right.
It involves questions, but it's a game.
Do you know what? I don't know anything about this. Usually Hayden makes me in charge of the podcast.
No.
Off you go.
So I thought the other day it'd be funny to do some, just at some point, just to do some would you rather questions to you. Just some really silly ones, right?
That's a game, yeah.
And then because I thought of one, and I'll tell you my one in a minute.
Yeah.
Which I've got written down. But then I went to the kids. I thought this would be funny to do with the kids. And I sat there with some kids at like a break time and part of lunchtime as well. And we were just laughing our heads off. Thinking of silly would you rather questions that we could ask you. And obviously like kids just make up nonsense, don't they? So some of these are just complete nonsense.
All right.
Most of them are made by the kids. First one's by me, a couple of others by me as well. So the first one I thought of, I found this online, which is what inspired me, right? This question, I was like, this is so Dylan.
Go on.
Would you rather never lose anything ever again or find everything you've ever lost all in one place? Because you lose everything.
Right, I know this actually. I'd rather never lose anything ever again.
Okay.
Because I've either made my peace with what I've lost, or I've also got a really nice support system around me of people who understand how bad I am at losing stuff, and they often help me to find it. So
nice.
Whenever I try and find anything, right, I will always ask everyone in that house or who's with me, have you seen X? Okay, have you seen this or not? And they'll go, whoa. Have you looked for it yet? I'm like, no, obviously. Because if you know where it is, I'll go straight to that place and pick it up.
Yeah, I do the
So
same.
I'm not going to waste my... No, I've not asked you. Oh, well, it's here. See? Good
Thank
job
you.
I asked.
Save me some time.
Don't need
Bye.
to look now. Got it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
So moving on now, swiftly to the nonsense for a couple of these from kids.
Brilliant.
Would you rather have ham hands or armpits that dispense lotion? I'll repeat that for you. Would you rather have ham hands or armpits that dispense lotion?
Definitely armpits that dispense lotion.
Constantly.
Looks like mine
they're
are.
constantly dispensing lotion.
looks like mine are, right? Yeah. If anyone watching.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Because like people have sweat patches and stuff under their arm. It's more normal than someone turning up and saying, "Nice to meet you," with some floppy hands. more normal.
Yeah, but it's constantly dispensing though. You know, it's not like you can just do it on demand.
I heard you.
All right, fair enough. Okay, another silly one.
Yeah. So I'm going to build up a character here. So I'm never going to lose anything again, and I've got lotion pouring on my armpits.
Okay, let's find out where you live. Would you rather get sucked into a black hole or live inside an ant?
Let's come up with this. I don't know, the one where I don't get crushed to death, like by the black. I guess they're both. Am I my current size inside of an ant?
No, you will shrink to the size that would fit inside an ant.
And if I get eaten up by the black hole, no one knows what happens.
No, but you're alive.
I'm gonna take the risk. I'm going black hole.
Yeah,
like Interstellar.
Yeah,
maybe I'll go back in time, see my past self, and say, "No, go into the ant. Go into the ant."
Very good. It's quite a good one, actually. Would you rather be able to turn invisible, but it's only your body and never the clothes, so you just constantly have to be naked if you want to be invisible, or just walk around with clothes, or be able to fly, but it only works when you're in the sitting position? What? So they both got like annoying drawbacks.
I'd much rather fly. I can sit down whilst flying.
Yeah, you can only do it in the sitting position.
It's fine.
So you can't fly like Superman.
Oh no, what a shame. The only reason I'd want to fly is to look like Superman, not to get somewhere quick.
Invisible sounds kind of cool though.
Nah, fly.
Fly.
Awesome.
Taking the fly.
Yeah. It's like, bye.
Yeah. Especially if you're living inside an ant.
For me.
Flying ant. Oh, look at it, sitting down.
Maybe that's what flying ants are.
Just people that have answered this and it's come true. Oh dear. Right.
What would a sitting ant look like? Are they standing?
Would their body bend?
Do they ever stand? What is an ant in its natural position?
Oh, I don't know. Can we find out?
We had to ask the audience. What would a sitting ant look like?
It's like they've ever seen those memes where it's like, how would a dinosaur wear a scarf?
Yeah.
Would they wear it up here or would they wear it down there? Those kind of things.
By the way, I saw one that was a tie or a scarf. A dinosaur, the Bronchosaurus, isn't it? With the long neck. It would definitely wear the tie down the bottom of the neck.
No.
Oh,
no, at the top, right there.
Do you wear a tie now at the top of your neck?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if you did.
I do. I wear it just here under my chin.
No.
Yeah,
you wear a tie at the bottom of your neck.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Otherwise, it'd just flap around, wouldn't it? By your head.
Oh, yeah, that's the reason.
yeah, that's the reason. Right, another one. Ready?
Yep.
Would you rather be able to eat anything you want and have it be perfect nutritional value? Thinking of your diet, right? Or you can sleep. But you only have to sleep for 1 hour, and you'll be perfectly rested. So eat what you want, and it's always perfect nutrition. Doesn't matter what you eat. Or sleep 1 hour a day.
That's really
perfect
good.
Sleep.
You must have found that one.
Yeah,
the kids know that's a good one.
Yeah,
I would say have some self-control with your food and then take the sleep option.
Is that because you're doing that right now?
Yeah, because you can't have self-control with sleep. You just will need 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, if I take the sleep option, 1 hour of rested sleep, and then I'm in control of my diet, I can have the best of both worlds.
Fair enough. That's a good answer. I like that. This one
is it. Would you rather retain all of our listeners to the end of the podcast, or keep doing?
No, I've got two more. This one is from the internet, and you've probably seen it before, but I just want to know what your answer would be. Okay. Would you rather fight one duck the size of a horse, or 100 horses the size of ducks?
Absolutely, 100 horses the size of ducks.
Do you think?
Can you imagine a duck the size of a horse being like, "I'm gonna have you"? Yeah. I'm gonna have you.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, I'm not beating up a duck the size of a horse.
I reckon both would absolutely rinse us.
Maybe.
I reckon 100 little horses.
But it depends on like if we can. But it depends, like, are they malicious or are they just existing?
Oh yeah, this is a fight. This is a fight. You're pinned up against. They want to kill you.
Yeah, you're done.
Kill them.
You're done. The thing is though, you'd last longer with 100 horses that size of ducks.
Yeah.
If a duck the size of a horse wanted to kill you, it's game over. It's game over.
I've got another mental one from the kids.
All right. Okay.
We'll end on this one because it's just complete nonsense. That didn't make sense.
Okay.
Would you rather have denim skin or live in a bag of milk? There we go. Make any sense? Which one?
Obviously denim skin.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
you can tell kids made it because they're stupid, but there's one clear answer. What, live in milk? Can you imagine living in milk? You'd stink as well.
Denim skins I'd take that anyway. You look like Justin Timberlake from the early 2000s all the time.
You
Welcome.
just want denim skin. There's not even a payoff.
I'll take denim skin anyway.
Would you rather denim skin? Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
Denim skin. You don't have the other one, denim skin.
Yeah. I tell you what, there was one like really existential deep one. Do you want to finish on that one?
Oh, well, it seems that we are. Go on then.
Because I was like, not sure. This was hard.
Okay, go on. We'll finish this off with this one.
You're presented with an option.
Denim skin.
You can be immortal. And I'm talking true immortality.
I am so far.
You will go to the end of the universe. For the heat death of the universe.
What, and then you'll die?
No, you just exist forever. You're properly immortal.
Okay.
Be great for a few million years, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or you die now.
Oh, immortal. Jesus Christ.
That's hard though, isn't it?
No.
Do you not think?
No.
When I really thought about that.
Death or not?
Yeah, but you'd just be alive forever, like even for billions of years of nothing.
Sounds great. Sounds better than not doing it.
Yeah. I picked immortal in my head because I was like, I reckon within a few billion years we can create something where I can go and live in like virtual reality or something.
Yeah, if you don't die, I'll just shoot off into space. Bye. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die.
Can't fly though.
No, it's going to rocket.
Well, anyway.
Definitely. Yeah. I reckon that question though is going to be something that pops in my head at like 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. Maybe not.
No.
Maybe not.
When you're waking up for the 4th time. Oh, do you know what?
We're going to finish on a quick fact. I've been awake since 1 a.m. this morning.
Oh, what?
Horrible.
We haven't slept since 1 a.m.
Horrible heartburn. Couldn't sleep.
Oh.
Disgusting. Rory was slept through, almost like he was teasing me. You don't have to be awake. No. I'm sleeping nicely.
I thought you got rid of all this heartburn.
So did I, and it's coming back and it's hurting now. So we're going to finish up.
Did you get any sleep at all?
From 10 to 1, yeah.
That's rubbish.
Anyway.
Why didn't we do the podcast at 1 a.m.? You were up.
You weren't.
Should we do a late night one day?
Yeah, I think what we should do is finish though, because I'm feeling rough.
Oh.
Right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Reasons we love teaching. Heartburn.
If you want me to sort of touch Dylan any more in the future, let me know. And I'll do it on the podcast.
Would you rather finish this podcast now or